Hey everyone, I'm still in Bangkok avoiding the winter chill in Shenzhen for a few weeks. Back in Shenzhen, I used Sony camcorders and the World Wireless Filmmaker Kit. You can see this setup in the earlier video I did about what equipment I use. That's all a little bulky for travel though. So I picked up the Ceremonic Blink 500, a much smaller wireless microphone. I'm going to be testing how that works compared to a USB lavalier mic connected to my phone and the Instant Mic, a standalone audio recording device I'm wearing right now. This video is being recorded with my Nubia Z20, which I also reviewed previously. It's a great bet for low-cost vlogging phone. The Instamic and the Blink 500 do different things, so this is not really a comparison. I'll just be showing you what they do and what don't do well. The Instamic is a standalone audio recorder. That means you add its audio track to the video in post-production. The Blink 500 is a wireless microphone. It replaces your camera's built-in audio. This is much more convenient, but it also means fewer audio tracks during a shoot. And more tracks means more options for clear audio in post-production. Okay, let's unbox them and take a look. So what I have here is the USB microphone that a lot of vlogging bloggers use. It's not an if or or situation, because if you don't carry this, you always have this, right? So get one of this no matter what. Now I am going to plug it into my phone and record it and see the quality of it. So voice recorder is recording. Hello, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. No, there is a clip. You can also put it on your, clip it on your shirt and then put the phone in your pocket. Right now it's done. Alright, not bad. So get one of this, is shipped. The next, let's take a look. This two, okay. This is what I use in Shenzhen. You see the camera, I put this on the camera. And this is the transmitter. And this one, the Blink K500 UZ receiver, you just plug it in to your phone. Let's open it. Now I'll take a look. Wow, it's tinier than than pictures show on the box. So this is their transmitter, 2 of them, and this is the receiver. You can just plug into the phone. And now it's blinking. Alright, I'll test it outside. So what is in here? Probably USB cable. Yeah, right, there are some USB cable in there. I'm going to test it outside, so I'm going to set it aside on the pictures. And this is the one I use in Shenzhen. This is the Ceremonic Blink 500 receiver. Same, it's very small, this one, and it only have a clip, not magnetic like the one, the Instamic. So I'm gonna be using that to demo that to you later. USB cable, right? The packaging is not bad and the quality feels good. Okay, this is the Instamic, just like the one I'm wearing. Let's open it. Oh, let's see what's in the box. So this is their covers, like socks you can put on the Instamic to change the color. Mine is, the one I'm wearing right now is just black, but this one is white, I think. Oh, wow. See, it's the same size as my other microphone. The open source Creality Ender Free is under $200 and can print thousands of different standard pieces of photo gear, often in under an hour. It's a great investment for any photographer. So right now I'm at Nana. I'm going to Hooters to have lunch, and I'm also wearing my Instamic, my Ceremonic mic, and my USB microphone, lavalier microphone, and I'm recording 3 of them at the same time. I'm holding my phone on one hand and holding my gimbal on the other hand. It's pretty sunny outside. I don't know if this footage will come out okay because the sun is so harsh. Okay, right now it's better, it looks better. And you can hear the noise in the background, right? Because a lot of traffic, just a lot of traffic, a lot of cars. Same, they have traffic light in this street, but it's always an adventure to cross the road. Speaking of which, a car is in front of me and I hope it doesn't bump into me. Oh my god, so I came here so early. The afternoon is still early. I like Hooters, like a lot. So right now I'm going in. Right. So the background music is playing. I'm testing while talking. So I have the ceremonic mic, instant mic, and my a USB microphone. Right now, the first test is for the instant mic. I think I'm going to order something. I feel like fried chicken again today. I forget what they serve here, nachos or something. All right, now switch to the ceremonic mic. What I'm seeing right now is salads, taco salad. I feel like I will pass that. Yeah. French fries. What was that called? Tortillas with the meat on it. What was that? I forgot. Okay, now test for my USB microphone. There are some cocktails, shots, non-alcoholic. I feel like having a beer right now. All right. I've moved hotel rooms since I started testing this, so we've got a bit of different background going here. General impressions, and again, this is not a comparison. The USB lav mic is a basic everyone should have. One mistake I made was I have the recording quality set a little lower than I should have. Make sure if you get one of these to check the settings on your phone and record at the best possible rate. The Blink 500. I shot a bit of video where the audio was intermittent. This turned out to be because I hadn't put the USB jack firmly in the phone. It's a good thing I have another audio channel recording or I would have lost the whole video. Definitely something to be careful of. A USB jack isn't an XLR jack and will have a higher failure rate, so keep an eye on it. Overall, the Blink 500 was very easy to set up and use. Very compact. No fiddling or weird button combinations. I love that I can use it with my phone or my camera. I love that there are 2 transmitters so I can interview people. I don't have the Rode Wireless Filmmaker kit with me, but it certainly seems to be comparable, and with 2 transmitters, I can also record with one while charging the other. I'll test both the Rode and the Ceremonic when I'm back in Shenzhen, but I'm certainly leaning towards the Ceremonic Blink 500. The Instamic. This one is hard. I really hate it, but I also need it and use it constantly. I've had the Instamic for several months, and you may have seen it in a few of my videos. The size is perfect. The memory space is more than in love. The battery life has been sufficient and the audio quality quite good. But the firmware flushing procedure requires a long process where you have to register at their website first, download an app and a firmware file, and then flush the Instamic from your computer. You can't just upgrade it over Bluetooth from the mobile app. You also can't just drag the firmware file to the Instamic when you have it mounted on your computer as a drive. You have to use their dodgy app. Even then, I could not get the firmware update to take. The Instamic mobile app is pretty good for changing settings over Bluetooth. No complaints there. I have some phone crashes and disconnects when trying to record audio with the Instamic while connected over Bluetooth to the app though. So it's really best for changing settings, not control or monitoring while you're shooting. The controls on the Instamic itself are a complete dumpster fire. They are so bad, I honestly was wondering if someone was playing a joke. It's been a long time since I've used a UI this bad. There are free LEDs that light up in encrypted combinations you are supposed to remember. It has a single button with no tactile feedback. No click when you press, no movement, no anything. You press it and wait to see if the press registers. But it's a multi-mode button, and as we've discussed, multi-mode buttons are almost always bad designed. So you have to turn it on, activate, and deactivate with a series of long and short button presses, which you will always forget because they're completely non-intuitive and you have 100 other bad UIs in your life to keep track of. Then once it's been recording for a bit, all the lights go off and there's no way to know from looking at it if the battery died or if it's still recording. I would love something this size with just an on and off switch, nothing else. Turn the switch on, it's recording. You can see it's on and recording from the switch position. Flip the switch and it turns off. That's it, nice and simple. There's nothing the Bluetooth app does I can't live without for the sake of reliable, simple field operation. You can be in the middle of a crowded street trying to remember what special combination of button presses will one specific product start recording. I don't have a clue, it's just me. I also need to maintain situational awareness and pay attention to what's going on around me. I don't need to be distracted by fiddling cricket. Last, the Instamic has this little clip and a magnet. It's really fragile, it's the only way to attach anything to the Instamic, and it's not compatible with any other photography grip equipment. Hot shoot mounts, quarter or 20 threads, GoPro mounts. If you want to mount your Instamic to your gear, you're looking at zip ties and double stick tip. Unless you 3D print your own, right? Not so fast. After breaking two microphone clips, I asked them to send me the CAD file for the clip so I could just print my own and make adapters to standard photography gear. They refused. This clip is not the body of the microphone. You cannot reverse engineer anything from it to knock off their product. The only reason to do this is if you know the clips break and want the consumer to keep buying replacements from you. That means you have no incentive to design something that does not break because you're selling a consumable. It's a complex organic shape that would take me half a day to model in CAD. And frankly, with the way they're going, I'm not convinced they are going to be around long enough to make me investing that much of my time in their product worthwhile. The Instamic is a simple product, a small audio recorder made overly complicated to justify charging a premium price. Personally, I would pay the same for it to have less features and more a reliable design. My feeling is probably somebody will make something simpler and better pretty soon. That being said, all my dislike for the Instamic design aside, I use it all the time and I have not found anything better. Having an extra audio track is cheap insurance on lots of videos. Some of my cameras don't have a microphone jack. I use the Instamic with them. Yes, it's very poorly designed and the company does not seem to care about those design issues, but it's not easily replaceable yet. If I lose it tomorrow, I would buy a replacement. I would be screaming at myself the whole time. But it does pay for itself and it is a very useful product for vlogger. That said, it's not the first microphone I would buy. I would say first buy USB lav mic, then the small shotgun mic, then the wireless lav mic like the Blink 500, and then the
What is going on, guys? This is Daily Doge once again, and I hope that you had a nice day and can enjoy today's video. So a bunch of popular streamers that were known for playing mainly Fortnite nowadays are switching to VRT gaming or completely abandoned Fortnite. For example, Myth disclosed that he's taking a break from Fortnite till they add something interesting into the game, and Courage is moving away from competitive gaming in general. Now of course you already heard that Fortnite's numbers are down in every aspect recently. Less people streaming it on Twitch and less traction in Google Trends, of course resulting in a drop in active players. Also everyone is hyped up on seeing new Riot Games FPS shooter called Valorant, and talking about this game, Shroud reacted to its new alpha gameplay footage, and now he kinda compared it to CSGO, adding that viewer experience is important, and it's really hard to understand what the hell is happening in this game, thus it could potentially have issues in reaching a high level in professional scene.
What are these? Are these like that's every time I watch this video I have trouble understanding what this is or what this does. So a hard thing about understanding this video is we don't know what the fuck is what, right? So this, you don't know what this is. You know, the fact that there's so many questions will make it a harder viewing experience than like Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike is easy. Like, there is still questions for people, but not as many. What is this thing? What is that wind ball? I don't know. Is it an ability? I couldn't tell you. This is like, what is going on? What is this? This shit's weird. Whatever this is weird.
يا حياتي. I love you حبيبي. Thank you. Jessica 42 with the 3 months. I've missed you and I haven't been watching you for a while, but now that you're back, who's this girl? You didn't tell me.
You're lying.
I don't have a target.
I don't think! Hey, yo, what are you saying? No! Put it back on! I didn't know she looks sick. And then like, have a little ponytail.
Penetrate my cheeks, please. This streamer I suck and gift you. Hey, unban. Alright, you're good to go, brother. You're free. Slash unban. There was no evidence. Apparently, Automon is track. So, really good, man. Automon is in track, so all evidence is cleaned off. You're good to go, brother. Straight booty. Oh, okay, you're gone again. Slash ban. Okay, read dono. Oh, you sent me a dono? You're fucking... Hey, my man, dude, you're unbanned. Good shit, brother. Hey, no evidence. I don't see. I don't know. Next.
He's so miserable, he's reaching.
XQC got banned? Yeah, and honest to God, I was hoping it was fucking permanent. Cause fuck XQC. Hey, you want my thoughts on the XQC ban? Wish it was permanent. Fuck that kid.
No, it's him.
XQC got banned? Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? Fuck you, and you know what? I tried your blood rush bullshit. It's trash, alright? Shut your 5'2" looking ass, bum ass hair. What is that hair? Look at that shit. It's slanted down to the right. Shut the fuck. Let me go take this shirt off real quick. Little bitch.
First of all, do you think I would ever get banned? I'm literally the face of this dead, dying game. Tell me the truth. That's first things first. Secondly, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm innocent. And then thirdly, Riot can't ban me because I'm black. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I'm not kidding. There's not many popular brothers on.
No.
Ready? Okay, so now you do it. So I have
eyes closed?
No, keep your eyes open first, because you have to get your body used to it, right? Right.
And then close my eyes.
Yeah, you do it.
Every year, more than 11 million containers arrive into the US by sea. Another 13 million come from road or rail, and another 250 million packages enter the US by air travel. It turns out a growing number of these shipments contain counterfeit or fake goods. Seizures of counterfeit products at US borders have increased tenfold over the past 2 decades. The total value of seized goods, if they'd been real, reached nearly $1.4 billion in 2018. Most are coming from mainland China or Hong Kong.
The Chinese counterfeiters pop up so fast, the moment you take them down, another one pops up.
The rise of e-commerce has fueled counterfeiting around the world. Amazon said it blocked more than 3 billion suspected fake listings from its marketplace in 2018.
International e-commerce sellers must step up and do more.
The economic cost of counterfeiting is mounting. The OECD says fake goods account for more than 3% of all global trade, while some estimate the sale of illicit products could result in more than 5.4 million net job losses worldwide by 2022.
U.S. businesses are going out of business because of counterfeit goods.
We visited one of the busiest entry points in the U.S. to get a glimpse at the influx of fake products and to find out what authorities are doing to stop counterfeiting. Counterfeit goods are unauthorized copies of products protected under intellectual property regulations.
Louis Vuitton, Michael Kors, Gucci, and you see this has some rating on us in another language.
Sellers try to trick consumers into buying imitation goods by using logos, symbols, and features that identify certain brands. You've probably seen counterfeit products before, like knockoff Louis Vuitton purses or fake Rolex watches. Some are made using lower quality materials, so they're less expensive to produce. Counterfeiters make money by luring consumers to these well-known brands, trying to convince them they're getting a deal on the real thing. Selling counterfeit goods is against the law in the US.
Most Americans, I think, have the misguided impression that if I buy a Rolex watch and I know it's a fake because I bought it for $20 on the street, not for $2,000 in the store, who gets hurt by that? The reverse question is the more important one: who's benefiting from that? Overwhelmingly, it's organized transnational crime that is running counterfeiting networks.
Counterfeits come in all shapes and sizes. According to U.S. Customs and Border Protection, the most popular counterfeit items are apparel and accessories, watches and jewelry, footwear, and consumer electronics.
We got Nike sneakers. One of the first things you look at is you could barely bend this. I'm actually having to use a lot of strength just to get a little bit of bend out of this.
Counterfeiters take advantage of Nike's name, brand recognition, and multi-million-dollar marketing campaigns to sell fake versions of the signature sneakers. Do you see a lot of counterfeit Nikes?
Yes, we see a lot of counterfeit Nikes.
Consumer products and pharmaceuticals also make up a big share of counterfeit goods. These are especially dangerous because they pose health and safety risks. In 2018, Europol intercepted 13 million doses of counterfeit drugs, ranging from opioids to heart medications, worth more than $180 million. The agency said it's seen a rise in counterfeit medicine in recent years.
They're not held to the same standard. They can go under the radar. They don't have to worry about the FDA. Not only is it not going to probably treat the ailment that you have, but it's potentially going to give you other ailments because you just don't know what's in the product.
With more consumers shopping online, it's becoming easier for fakes to beat out legitimate products on marketplaces. E-commerce platforms like eBay, Amazon, and Alibaba have ushered in a golden age for counterfeiters.
One of the great opportunities of the digital economy is that someone in a small town in Delaware can come up with a really neat product and they can sell it globally relatively seamlessly. But if it really catches on and someone else can simply counterfeit it or copy it, then your competitive advantage is dramatically reduced.
AJ Kubani is the CEO of Telebrands, a New Jersey-based company that pioneered the concept of as seen on TV. Telebrands says it has sold billions of dollars worth of products like the Petivac or Lint Lizard through TV infomercials.
The counterfeits pop up on Amazon within 30 to 60 days of us launching a TV commercial. So now when consumers go to Amazon and search for our particular product, more people buy the counterfeit because it's a cheaper price than buy our original product. This is the original product and this is the counterfeit side by side. You can absolutely tell the difference. The counterfeits on Amazon had a devastating impact on our business.
Kubani said he was so frustrated he took his concerns all the way to President Donald Trump.
I met with Trump in Bedminster, New Jersey, at his golf club. We just pulled our chairs up to the table and started talking to him. And once we said counterfeits on Amazon, that's all we had to say. We had his attention.
Kubani said counterfeits on Amazon are threatening the business models of companies like Telebrands. The firm invests in finding, developing, and advertising new products. It expects to recover those investments once the products are sold. That's not happening thanks to the fakes.
Think about it. If we put all these resources, time, energy, money, the design, make sure the consumer wants to buy it, come up with a marketing campaign to launch the product, and do all that effort and find within 30 days the product dies a very fast death because of counterfeits, there's not much incentive to be innovative and continue to come up with new products.
Telebrands is one of many U.S. firms struggling to fend off counterfeiters online. In January 2020, the Department of Homeland Security issued a report saying the rise of e-commerce has intensified the problem of counterfeit trafficking and puts U.S. companies and entrepreneurs at risk.
It puts them out of business. That's the cost.
Bob Barchese testified in a House Judiciary Committee hearing in 2019 about how e-commerce presents new opportunities for counterfeiters.
At the click of a mouse, you could get product and you get it directly shipped to your house.
Booming e-commerce sales have led to a surge in shipments of small packages. There were 161 million express mail shipments in 2018 and 475 million packages shipped through international mail. The International Chamber of Commerce found counterfeiters use smaller shipments to try to lower their risk of detection. Meanwhile, U.S. Customs and Border Protection officials are being inundated by a growing number of small shipments arriving into the country every day. A rule that allows packages valued at under $800 to enter tax-free has exacerbated the problem.
When we're talking about early 2000s, you're looking at about between 3,000 and 5,000 seizures. Now you fast forward to today.
Our program begins now.
Hi everyone at home watching. Oh my God, I'm excited for this. I was gonna try and get you hyped, but you're doing it yourself. We can do this though. Hi, I'm Jesse Cox. I'm a massive Larian fan. I am up here gonna host this fun panel that we have in store for you today. I'm really excited. This is the gameplay reveal panel for Baldur's Gate 3. We've got about 10 minutes of gameplay and about 8 spreadsheets, a few pie charts, and 45 minutes of Q&A, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
We know what you love. Lots of spreadsheets. Numbers, lots of those. Anyway, all right. How many of you, by show of hands, are big Larian fans?
Whoa.
All right. And how many of you are like, Baldur's Gate, I love that. And by a show of, I assume, 2 hands, how many of you are fans of both? I got everyone to do the wave. I'm feeling really good about that. All right. We're going to, look, I could talk all day. I could. But no one cares what I think. Because all of you are here to see this man, Sven Vink, is going to play for you Baldur's Gate 3. And I'm going to shut up and let him do that. Because this is going to be the coolest thing you will ever see. And I'm going to just hand it over to you.
Very much, Jesse.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Nah, I thought so.
We can get louder than that. This is going to be crazy. Thank you.
Sorry, it's a different keyboard than I'm used to. There you go. Sven.
Great name.
So, we're in character creation. I can select my background. So Darwin, Dragon background, I play Dungeons and Dragons. I can change my body type. I can change my race, so I can play as a tiefling, play as a crow, play as a human, play as a Yankee, play as a dwarf, play as an elf, play as a half elf, play as a half drow, play as a halfling. And there's more, but we're only showing a few. These are the races that will be going into early access, and then more will be added afterwards. And so, depending on which race I pick, I get different features. I can also select which class I'm going to pick somewhere. But apparently he can walk in the sunlight, so that's kind of handy for us. So he's going to try to figure out what's going on. So I can control the camera and put it in third person, so then it's running behind me. Or I can just go back top down and then basically play it in a traditional manner. So I'm going to like going like this, and let's have a look at what we can find. Have a look over there. So this is a river, it's called the Gehennas. And it reaches all the way to Baldur's Gate, but we have no boat, so we're going to have to go in a different direction. Obviously, you can see that it's been a lot of fun over here. Fisher, the little letter. The long letter is none of my business. Stars doesn't really care about the fact that everybody's dead. That door, so let's go ask and introduce ourselves.
Blasted doors, I
need a target.
What? Oh, it's you. I saw you on the ship. You survived then?
Suddenly I saw what she saw, felt what she felt. Anger, confusion, resolve.
Ah! You.
I don't have a target.
You've got the same thing I do. In your head. I felt it.
Okay, so I have a whole bunch of dialogue options. So what just happened to us is because of the tadpole. I was already introduced to that in the tutorial. We call it mind melding. So we both have a tadpole in our heads, and we can telepathically connect to each other. But I'm also very hungry, so I'm playing this from the point of view of Astarion, vampire spawn. So you will see that all of my choices will be tailored to being Astarion, essentially. So I'm going to stare at her and realize that I'm very hungry.
What's the matter with you? Has that tadpole scrambled your brain already?
So I can basically say, okay, well, I'll just feed, or I can swallow my urge and feign ignorance, which is what I'm going to do because I need a companion.
Come on. The chase through hell, the creatures, what they did to us, the tadpole. That thing is going to consume us from the inside and turn us into mind flayers. You and I need a healer. Finding one won't be easy in this wilderness. We'll need supplies. I'm hoping something of use might be behind these doors, but I've barely made a dent in them so far.
Okay, so I can offer to help her, but I'm a rogue also, so I can tell her to save her strength, then that I'll pick the lock.
By all means. I'm going to see what's at the top of this cliff. Hopefully there's no more of these creatures along the way.
I will, well, actually I'll suggest that we join forces and say that that gives us better odds of survival.
Or just company for our final moments. But you're right. Whatever lies ahead will be a little less daunting with support. You can call me Shadowheart.
I can tell her that I'm Astarion, a reformed vampire spawn who can walk in the sunlight, or I can choose not to tell her, which is a good idea. And I can also question her what she knows about things in each of our heads.
Very little. Supposedly, those monsters breed by planting their tadpoles in people's heads. Over time, the infected victim turns into a mind flare. I don't remember how long it takes, but we should hurry.
So that's a problem. I'll introduce myself, Astarion.
Lead the way, Astarion.
And I've made my first companion. I'll try to lockpick that door, but I don't have a lockpick, so that's not going to work. So, oops, I got myself into the door. Alright, let's see if this fine gentleman has something of use, but he doesn't. So introduction to combat. You see something like that? So let's try and see what that is. Where are they? Oh, yeah, this is. So combat is turn-based because Dungeons and Dragons is a turn-based system, so we base ourselves on that. I need to be very careful for these intellectual horrors, because if they get too close to me, it will be very painful. This can actually end up in a party wipe, but I'll do my very best not to let that happen. I'm going to seek the high ground. In Dungeons and Dragons, seeking advantage allows you to roll twice, which is a good idea, because there's a lot of dice rolling going on behind the scenes. We translate from dice rolls into percentages so that you don't have to roll the mathematics yourself. So this gives me a 90% chance to hit, so that's a pretty good one. Also, I'll manage, don't worry about it. That's a 45%, let's try. I'm casting Sacred Fire, let's see what that does. So puny 2 damage. So if you're curious to know how the calculations are happening, they're happening behind the scenes here. You can just hover over it and then you can learn all of the math behind. The numbers that you see, which is what Jeff said, lots of numbers. We're going to be very brave and we're going to go up there. And then I'm going to see how far I can get this start. I don't want to die right away. Alright, Shadowheart. Shield of Favor. The bonus actions. These are my actions, these are my bonus actions. You just see, yeah, it says AP, it's a little bit misleading, but it's actually just the actions that you have. But sometimes you can have to do that. So I'm going to end my turn, and now it's the enemy's turn. What they do. Unfortunately, they can jump, but that's good. Couldn't hit me, that's actually not that bad. So what I'm going to do with Shadowheart is I'm going to try something that's a little bit risky, but sometimes works. I'm going to use Shove, and I'm going to try to... Oh, it won't work. Yeah, there you go. So that guy's a little bit further from me, and then she can still hammer at that guy. It's really not hitting very well. And then I'm going to shoot with the star at that guy. So I'm doing pretty good actually. Right.
I can't use that other bit.
Ooh. So combat is fairly high stakes, as you can see. So they have a reaction, so that basically means if she walks away from here, they're gonna hit her, which is not good. So what I'm gonna do, and he.
The biggest. The heaviest.
Fuck. Ah, it's stuck on the track.
The most. And the most expensive goods on Earth. Everything people can move. On land. On water. And in the air. Record-breaking, stunning, global. They are Mega Transports. It is the biggest container ship in the world, the OOCL Hong Kong. She has the potential to change the transport business forever, to drive many other transport ships out of the market, and to conquer the 7 seas. No other ship moves as many containers as she does, but only if her maiden voyage is a success. The OOCL Hong Kong must reach her destination safely and on schedule, a risky race against time. She has never been tested on the high seas before. This maiden voyage is a true mega transport, and it will demand everything from the crew.
This is a very challenging thing to bring out a new ship like this.
The route goes through the Suez Canal and through pirate territory.
I see. I know I can help you.
A mega transport on the high seas. Now. Kuche in South Korea. It is the busiest shipyard on Earth, as big as a small city. Over 35,000 people work here. They are building 6 container ships of the new premium class, a value of $950 million US. These new mega transporters are a massive challenge for engineers and shipbuilders. More than 21,000 containers must fit perfectly into the cargo area. Any mistake would not get noticed until loading and could have catastrophic consequences. Duchin Choi surveys the cargo area. He only has this one chance. Once at sea, it will no longer be possible to make improvements.
If the ships get bigger and bigger, it means for me there are a million things more to check and get right. Especially with a container ship. Precision in all measurements is the most important thing during the construction. Our work really seals the fate of the ship.
Duchin Choi uses a special 3D scanner. He will do everything possible to ensure no measurement errors are made. For him, it is a question of honor. All the same, his team checks every loading berth with a test container.
For me personally, I'm incredibly proud to be working on this gigantic, record-breaking vessel, and I want to get it right. It is really one of a kind. We put all the newest innovations in this.
Her 5 sister ships are still being built, but the OOCL Hong Kong is ready for her maiden voyage. She is about 400 meters long. In comparison, the Titanic was only 269 meters. The biggest container ship in the world even outshines the Empire State Building. It can load 21,413 containers and transport more than 191,000 deadweight tons. That corresponds approximately to the weight of 336 A380 airplanes, an inconceivable record. 12 tiers of containers can be stacked below deck, and 12 more on the upper deck. One single man is responsible for the ship, its crew, and its cargo. He must bring one of the biggest marine transporters of all time safely to its destination. If he passes this test, he will be considered one of the best captains in the world. Lam Chung Fat was brave enough to take the job.
This is the biggest one I've been on. The last one that I was on in this company was only 13,000 TUs, and this is like a big jump. So actually this is a very stressful job, although you don't see me running around or anything, but actually there's a lot of things happening behind. The engine must be running properly, the cargo in good condition, we're on schedule, stuff like that. So it is very stressful, but you have to find time to relax yourself. And one of my favorite things is to come out here to just look around and just feel the breeze on your face and in your hair.
One last deep breath, then the OOCL Hong Kong will set off on her maiden voyage. With him on board is his dear friend, Lim Keng Hock, the chief officer. His job is to make sure the crew functions well from the very beginning, and he must do so on a ship that no one knows.
It's quite hectic because we just left the shipyard, and so we have to bring them up to speed. So we have to keep on training, and there's a lot of work to do.
The first task for the officer and his team, to raise the anchor. On small ships this is no problem, but on the biggest container ship in the world, it is hard work.
going forward. How is the cable?
Yeah, stand by.
The anchor's weight and its cable make sure that the ship does not drift or tip over. There is one anchor on each side of the ship's bow.
Okay, Roger.
Roger. Forward, Chief Mate. Please bring the anchor
Off
home.
with you.
Everything on this ship is oversized, bigger, heavier, and thus also more ponderous and slower than on other transport ships. Anchor and cable together measure over 770 meters in total and weigh more than 440 tons. Lim Keng Hock and his team must work safely above all, but also as fast as possible. That is the only way for the OOCL Hong Kong to capture the top position in the shipping business.
Dead slow ahead.
The mega transporter's maiden voyage lasts about 30 days. The first destination, Shanghai, the largest port on Earth. After that comes the first ordeal on the high seas, a voyage to Singapore. There, the OOCL Hong Kong will load its final cargo. Its route then takes it to the Suez Canal. The narrow passage is a risky maneuver and the toughest test for ship and crew. In Rotterdam, the largest port in Europe, the maiden voyage will come to an end. Yangshen, the deep water port of Shanghai and the mega transport's first stop. 13 million containers are loaded here every year. It is not only the biggest, but also the busiest port on Earth. 30 ships can dock and load at the same time. And precisely that will be a problem for the OOCL Hong Kong. Two hours from the port, Captain Lam Chung Fat is tense. No wonder, it is his first berthing maneuver with this gigantic ship. He has requested a local pilot.
The pilot boat is approaching. Get the senior B to rig the starboard side pilot ladder 4 meters above the water.
The pilot must bring his small boat alongside the mega transporter and jump onto a rope ladder at the right moment.
The pilot boat may be moving up and down a lot, and this is quite risky for the pilot. So for the pilot, this is one of the most risky part of his job actually, to get onto the ship.
Indeed, there have been many fatal accidents during bad weather and rough seas. Pilots have fallen from the ladder, drowned, or been crushed between the ships. Thankfully, the sea is quiet today, and the pilot comes aboard uneventfully.
Hello.
This is the first berth of this vessel, right?
Yes.
Everyone at the port is already pretty excited.
As soon as the pilot is on board, he becomes a member of the crew and has the same rank as the captain. From now on, he gives the orders. With the aid of tugboats, he maneuvers the mega transporter into the port.
Number 2, push slowly.
The OOCL Hong Kong is a gigantic challenge for the pilot as well. Captain Lam Chung Fat must trust him blindly.
Here I still can understand some Chinese, but in some other ports I absolutely do not understand.
Number 1, hurry up.
The captain knows the 7 seas. The pilot only this one port, but he knows it inside out. Water depth, sandbanks, and other dangers. But he does not know the OOCL Hong Kong, and the berthing maneuver is difficult. For the berth is between 2 container ships. The parking space is narrow, very, very narrow. In theory, the maneuver is quite simple. 3 tugboats push the mega transporter slowly and carefully towards the quay wall. The greatest danger, if they push too forcefully. The OOCL Hong Kong cannot stop. She would hit the quay wall and, in the worst case, could capsize. Captain Lam Chung Fat can only stand by and watch as the pilot walks the tightrope.
Number 1, stop. Number 2, push slowly. Wind is strong.
Engine stop.
Number 1, stop. 10 meters.
Stop the bow. Stop bow.
Speed is good. Don't go too fast. Keep going slowly. The wind is strong.
Stern is coming slowly to the jetty outside. Watch carefully.
Number 2, stop.
The berthing maneuver is complete. Normally reserved, Captain Lam Chong Fat sounds relieved.
This is textbook. Slowly.
Yeah. Let's go first. First. Slowly, not very fast. Safety first. Huh?
The mega transporter loads more than 4,000 containers here in Shanghai, including highly sensitive cargo like deep frozen goods and hazardous materials. Cranes raise the covers from the cargo cells. Now the OOCL Hong Kong's true size is revealed. At the same time below deck, Chief Officer Lim Keng Hock must make sure the loading goes smoothly. For him, it is less a job than a dream come true.
I've been at sea for 35 years. So ever since I was small, I live on an island in Malaysia. So as a kid, I always see ships, cargo ships. So I always thought one day I might work on one of these ships, and finally I'm here.
His first task, to check the manifest and all available information about every individual container. What is being loaded? Where is it being loaded? And what does that mean for the OOCL Hong Kong? If cargo weight is distributed unevenly, it could cause a catastrophe. The mega transporter's steel frame could bend. With over 21,000 containers and 200,000 tons of cargo weight, Lim cannot commit one calculation error.
We have to make sure that everything is loaded as per the plan. Different colors are the port of discharge. We are going to Gdansk, Felixstowe, Rotterdam, and also Germany. The workflow is quite large, I would say, and challenging, so you need to be very focused. Hong Kong 3rd Mate, Chief Mate calling.
Yes, should just go ahead.
Yes, the cargo plane is ready. You can come to the office. Over.
Lim Keng Hock must not only make sure that the containers are put in the right place, but also that they are loaded in the correct order. If the crane operators make mistakes here, one side could become too heavy, and in the worst case, the ship could capsize. To keep this from happening, the OOCL Hong Kong has gigantic water tanks. When empty, she can take on up to 65,000 tons of seawater. At port, this ballast can be pumped between the individual tanks to maintain balance. As more cargo is loaded, the OOCL Hong Kong pumps the water back into the sea.
If it's within limits, then we are fine. But the optimum objective is to have minimum ballast, so that we just carry cargo and have optimum trim, so that we can move at a very good speed. Yes, certainly. Everything fine?
Yes, everything is fine.
How many cranes working?
7 cranes working, Chief.
Okay, this is the loading plan for this port. All the reefers, we have 14 reefers,
Okay, loading 14 meters.
Yeah, this is according to the manifest, so check ventilation.
Okay.
And DGs, we have quite a lot, 66.
60, 60.
So ensure all labels are okay.
Okay, label and the position according to the backhand.
Yeah. So just check the moorings and everything is okay.
Okay.
Okay. Any problem, give me a call.
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Sneakers, laptops, and televisions, but also DG, dangerous cargo like chemicals. All this and much more is now on its way to Europe. In only 30 days, the mega transport is scheduled to arrive there. The next leg of the voyage, 4 days on the high seas. On their way to Singapore, crew and ship will encounter many dangers. The cargo must get to Europe as quickly as possible. The mega transport will only be profitable if the OOCL Hong Kong sticks to its schedule. But this ship is about more than profitability and money, more than engineering and technology. This ship arouses emotions, at least in Chief Officer Lim Keng Hock.
When you look at the ship from a distance, you will be quite amazed at how big the vessel is. But when you're on board, you get used to it. I have this affinity to shipping. And so even up to now, I still find it's, even though it's challenging, but I find it's a rewarding career. So at the end of the day, when you sign off, you're quite a happy man.
In contrast to many other container ships, the OOCL Hong Kong can load an additional upper tier of containers.